Hey everybody, this is Captain Fool reporting for duty, giving you my weekly comic book review. So sit back and enjoy. Alright everybody, for those of you that know the drill, I go over a bunch of comic books for the week that I chose to read. Now I didn't have time to read everything, so if I missed something you think I should have read, let me know in the comments below. Also, you may disagree with me on some of my choices. If that's the case, that's alright. Let me know below. Let's just try to keep it civil. My goal is to bring back the old schoolyard days, where we would be in discussing what hero could beat who or what comic book was good and not. And I come armed with my trusty notes, so you'll hear the paper rattle because I do it a little bit old school. I do my grading on a scale of 0 through 10, 7 being average as a 70%. So I'm using schoolyard grading. But that's not all. I also use the League of Comics Geeks to give you other people's views as well as a brief overview of the comic book as well. So let's jump right in. Thanks again everybody for joining me this week. I greatly appreciate it, as well as all of you that took time to put comments in and share your thoughts. I greatly appreciate them, even if they oppose mine, especially if we discuss things civilly. So let's jump right in. The first issue I want to talk about is Batman issue 142. Yep, we're going back to the Joker Year 1 Part 1, and I don't know how I feel about this. I really would like to know that too. How do you feel about them going back and dipping into Joker's history? I think part of what makes Joker great is that we really don't know his history, but they're tying in some other stories and making them canon, evidently, with Zdarsky here. Anyway, League of Comics Geek said 211 out of 275 liked it with a 3.5 average rating, which leads me to believe that maybe a lot of people feel like I do, because I gave this a 7.6. The writer, once again, is Chip Zdarsky. The artist is Andre Sorrentino. If I didn't butcher that, if I did, I apologize. Penciler, Giuseppe Camicoli. And that's where I'm going to stop there. The Joker Year 1, revealed by Chip Zdarsky here. The tragic death of the leader of the Red Hood gang in Nevada Chemicals has become the subject of myth. But what is the heartbreaking and gruesome tale of the monster who walked away from the violent birth? And how does it affect Batman's distant future? The Joker Year 1 begins here. I think it's an interesting start for a new story. I'm going to give him credit right there. I'm currently cautiously optimistic, though. And I mean that cautiously. Because this could really end up messing up one of the things that makes Joker such a good character. It's good art and good pacing. But once again, I really want to know what your thoughts are on this. Do you think this is a dangerous territory with messing with the Joker? The next one I want to talk about is Venom number 30. 56 out of 60 liked it with a 4.1 average rating, which is a lot higher than I gave it because I gave it a 7. Now, before you get all mad at me, let me tell you the cover art is really good. There's some additional covers to it that are pretty cool with this. The artist is Al Ewing, and that was the writer, I'm sorry. Al Ewing, the artist is Cafu, as well as Raphael T. Sorry, dude. Once again, I don't butcher names on purpose. It's just because I'm dumb like that, I guess. I just can't say them. Anyway, back and forth, Eddie Brock has spread himself too thin, literally. Fractured, exhausted, and losing focus, Eddie risks slipping into a familiar sort of look, along with some old and lethal habits. Face to face against manifestations of his own anger, hate, and wrath, will Eddie have enough strength to face his greatest foes yet and emerge victorious? Well, here's the thing. I think there's good art and lots of action in this issue, but I continue to not be able to get into this story. I don't know. I don't like it. I just never cared for it from the very inception. It's not for me. And now we have Carnage, though, coming into the picture at the end, I was never a huge Carnage fan either. I might get some hate for that. I think he's an okay villain. Don't get me wrong. But once again, I think and I've said this in previous videos. That's why I keep saying once again. I think he's more street level villain, high street level, powerful, where we need a lot of heroes maybe to gang up and get him. But it doesn't do it for me. I don't know. I'm about ready to tap out of this series. Some people like Ewing, and I don't dislike Ewing, but I think he drags things too long. And where he hits, I think, does better is like we've seen with the recent Avengers Incorporated, when he's forced to wrap it up. Some people disagree with me there, I'm sure, but that's my thoughts. I like him to maybe wrap up the stories a little bit more. Hey guys, today's video is sponsored by My Wallet. Yeah, I'm not trying to push any kind of wallet or pimp any wallet out. What I mean is it's sponsored by my personal wallet and the cash that comes out of it to pay for these things. If you want to help with this, you can hit like, subscribe, that notification bell. Those are great ways to get started. But if you find yourself in a position where you can help the channel more, we have a Patreon and a subscribe star down below that you can click on those links. And for as little as $1 a month, you'll have special videos and things to just you, music that you can get. Or maybe if you wanted to, a one-time donation just to help out, we have a Streamlabs link down below. Or we also have, if you go to the Patreon shop, you could buy a song for like $3. I wish I could put them a little lower, but that's the minimum they allow for that. So there's lots of options. Sometimes you might even see an Amazon link. If you want to buy anything through Amazon, click on my link first, then go through there. That'll give me a couple pennies, possibly that way too as well. So there's lots of ways you can help out the channel, because without you, it would not be possible. So thank you, everybody. And let's get back to the video. The next one I want to talk about is The Avengers number 10. 95 out of 103 liked it with a 3.9 average rating. And we have the writer is Jed MacKay and the artist is Carlos Villa. So it's again 3.9. That's a pretty strong score. I gave it a 7. I think it's just an average book. That's all I can really say. The Avengers battle the Twilight Court. The mysterious Midrin and his rival within reach, with Kang being the only source of information for the Avengers have regarding the tribulation events. Can the Avengers save him before he gets taken out? Well, here's the thing. He's sort of dumb. He gets attacked. The Avengers are doing all this to protect him, and then so he gets mad at Avengers because they weren't there. I don't know. It didn't make a whole lot of sense. Here my notes there. Well, it's just when I hear that, I tend to. Yeah, the group that you came to help protect you and save you, you're now mad at. I don't know. I just don't get it. The villain in this, we get a tired trope here, okay? The villain had the opportunity to kill Kang, but he didn't. Instead, he wiped his memory some and left him. I'm sorry, but that's just a common comic book trope. It's tired. And we do get a little story development here. We get some decent art. And here's the thing, though. It seems like, and I get the Avengers are together to stop major threats. So please, I get it. I've read all the Avengers issues, all of them. But the thing is, it seems like over the last couple years, every writer's goal is to one-up the threat over everybody else. Okay, this threat was so big, now I'm going to make the threat even bigger. It would be nice to maybe have the threat whittled down a little bit, and maybe not quite as huge. They could still be big threats, but we don't always need all world and universe-ending threats. But that's my thoughts, and from an Avengers fan, I just think I'd like to see that a little bit more of a variancy there. Another issue I want to talk about is Shazam number 8, or should we call him the Captain, right? 107 out of 114 liked it with a 4.1 average rating from the League of Comics Geeks. I gave it a 10. I'm not 10, I'm sorry. Well, you would have been shocked there. An 8 out of 10. Got a little dyslexic there. People are probably like, oh my goodness, first time ever. The writer is Mark Waid. Okay, not a fan of the guy. And we have the story artist is Goran Sudzuka, which once again I butcher these names, so I'm sorry about that. We have Captain America versus Alien Dinosaurs. Yep, that's what we have. And if you recall from last issue, if you read it, Shazam, or the Captain, his house was all busted up, all taken down and blown to pieces based on the fight with Shazam and Black Adam. Oh, sorry, the Captain. I just can't get over that. I don't like that name. But we have the dinosaur issue with the auditors. They want to collect the dinosaur, and the story continues there to wrap that story segment up. It's a good cover. I like the cover of this issue. The multiple covers, actually, and all of them are pretty darn cool. I recommend checking them out. There's good art in this issue as well. And the weird thing there, and one of the things I guess they're maybe playing on a younger audience with this issue, because I'm sorry, but if you're purchasing a home and there's a home loan, you have homeowner's insurance. That house is insurance. There would be insurance to cover and rebuild that house, unless there's some kind of thing where in the DC universe that insurance doesn't cover superheroic fights, and I tend to doubt that. When we live in a universe here with superheroes blowing buildings apart and everything all the time, I'm sure there's insurance coverage for that, or at least should be. But, it's comics you're in for a penny, in for a pound. It didn't make a whole lot of sense. But it's a fun issue, and we get to see what happens with their home, and we get some more Black Adam as well. I don't think you can really go too wrong with this issue. As I said, I gave it an 8. Here are my notes once again here. Not bad at all. All right, shifting gears into another story. We're going to talk about Birds of Prey, number 6. 156 out of 163 liked it with a 4.3 average rating. A higher rating than I gave it because I gave it a 7. Now, once again, don't just assume. Remember, 7 of my score is average. Writer is Kelly Thompson, and artist is Leonardo Romero. I found this interesting because I always like to do these, my reviews, before I listen to anybody else's, but I screwed up, and I was listening to Comic Boom's channel there, and listening to his view and his partner that he does these with, and their take on it, and they gave me some good insight and some good thought there, too. So I want to make sure I don't try not to mention anything they mention, because I don't want to be influenced that way. By the way, if you haven't been checking out his channel, I recommend it. It's pretty cool stuff. If you're a DC fan, that's definitely a place to go. We have All Out War on Themyscira in this issue. Yeah, well, we sort of did. It's wrapping up there. A lot of talking in this issue. As the team faces off against the mythical Megara, I'm sorry if I butchered her name. Can the birds overcome this ancient evil? And one of them will have to pay the ultimate price. You know what? I don't think the standard cover is very good for this issue. I don't like that, but some of the alternate covers are a bit better. The art in this issue, in my opinion, could be better too. It's a particular style, and I get it, and I think the coloring they chose works with that style well and helps. But I think I would like to see a different art style in this book, and I didn't want to do this, but that happened. That was said on Comic Boom's channel as well. They seem to talk about, well, I wonder if we could get a different artist, what that would be. Would it be better or would it be worse? And the story continues. We wrap up this main story and start a new one. Someone's trying to kill Barbara Gordon, but who and why? And they hint at a new team will be next issue. So this reminds me of maybe it's going to be a book like the Savage Avengers, where the team is going to be a little bit more organic. Granted, I get it in all these team books. Teams usually do change, and sometimes after a story arc. But this is pretty quick. They've had one story arc together is all, and they're already hinting at a new team. But that could work too, because that could help keep it fresh. Matter of fact, maybe we could keep Barda. I think Barda is a really cool addition. Her attitude, she's just a fun thing. But maybe get and people are going to get mad at me. Maybe get rid of Harley Quinn. We've seen a lot of her. Maybe put some other characters in that we haven't seen as much of to give us a little bit more of a taste of some other characters. Now, shifting gears, let's shift into Captain America number 6, with 53 out of 57 liking it with a 4.1 average rating, which makes me think that this book isn't selling really well, which makes me sad. I'd like to see Captain America doing better. And the writer is J. Michael Straczynski, and the artist is Lion Medina. Now, I will say the art has stepped down the last couple issues, hasn't been as good when they switched artists, but it's still not terrible. We have Captain America versus the Emissary. It's a fight to the death as Captain America races to take down the Emissary before he destroys a peace rally. And Cap himself, he's going after him. But when a physical might proves futile against the supernatural, will an assist from Doctor Strange be enough to turn the tide? Well, or should we say Doctor Strange's little pet dummy? It's good pacing. It's decent action this issue. It's still good art. It's not great art, but it's good art. It's a solid story. It's even for the more mystical kind of thing with Cap. I tend to like the more spy espionage thing, but it's okay too. I think Cap fans would enjoy this. If you haven't been giving this a try, I give it a 7.4. I think you should. I think you at least give it a shot and see if it's for you. Now, the next one I want to talk about is the Sensational She-Hulk. Yeah, the Sensational She-Hulk. 67 out of 70 liked it with a 3.9 average rating. That's pretty good. We have the writer being Rainbow Rowell and artist Iguana. Sorry, dude. I know I'm not trying to make fun of you and your last name. Iguera? Sorry, I am so bad with names. I gave the book a 7 out of 10. I don't think it's anything super fantastic. But I will say this. The cover is pretty good, but there's some alternate covers here too. This book has a lot of good alternate covers as well. We have She-Hulk and Hellcat and Captain Marvel in this issue. We're supposed to have a nice night. They're all together at Hellcat's favorite bar, but things go ugly. Things turn bad, and we have demons attacking, and the story goes on from there. An interesting issue. It's got some good action. It's got good characterization, too, as well. Decent art. And I think where this book hits best is for the YA fans. And I think that's why Rainbow Rowell is probably writing this book. It's targeting the young adults, so the YA fans are hit that, as well as some She-Hulk fans. I know some of the She-Hulk fans tend to like the more goofy Byrne era, or even the Slott era. I give Slott a lot of crap, but his Slott era of She-Hulk wasn't terrible. It was okay. I like the Byrne era better, but that's probably some of Slott's better writing, in my opinion. So this is a little bit different of a spin, a little less comedic, but I still think for She-Hulk fans, you probably can like it. And the next one, here we go. Got my notes here. Actually, this is the last one that I read this time, is Daredevil Gang War number 3. 43 out of 52 liked it with a 3.4 average rating. You know what? I get it. I gave it a 7.3, so I give it a pretty high score. A little slightly higher than average score anyway. The writer is Erica Schultz, penciler Sergey Fernandez Devala. I might actually said that right, maybe. And anyway, Gang War continues. I know not everybody's into this Gang War miniseries, and I'm not usually into these, but I like something a little more ground level for once. And we've had all these big apocalyptic constant things. I'm enjoying the more ground level story here. For the first time in her life, Elektra may be out of her depth. With the city engulfed in violence and chaos, she's the only thing standing between the people of Hell's Kitchen and a bloodthirsty criminal conspiracy. Well, not really. She could ask some of her friends that are also helping with this gang war, but that doesn't sound as good, make as good of a soundbite or an advertisement on a blurb, does it? It's good art, good action, and it's good pacing in this issue. I'm actually ready. I'm gonna don't get off the spears and pitchforks. I'm actually enjoying this event. It's nice, and we get to see more about this new character that they've created. But I do have to ask, do we really need another Wolverine clone? I mean, really? I know she's female, but we've already got a female Wolverine clone. How many more clones of Wolverine do we need? The more we dilute the pool, the less fantastic the character becomes. And this comes to mind, too, because I just recently watched a video about characters, and they put Miles Morales at the top because, he's such great recent character, such development. And I thought, it's characters are supposedly carved out a way for themselves and made themselves, really good. And I don't think he's that great of a character. Ooh, don't pitchfork me here. But here's why. He was a great character when he was in the Ultimate Universe. Because, Peter passed away. He took on the baton, became Spider-Man's good. But when they put him in the 616, he's now just one of many Spider-Man. And you notice he still goes by the name Spider-Man. I'm sorry, but he hasn't really carved out his own niche. He's not done anything to separate himself, in my opinion. I could be wrong. And I'd love to know that. What are your thoughts on Miles? I think, regenerate the Ultimate Universe or whatever it takes there and move him out and then make him special again. Notice that I'm not hating on the character. I'm saying that he's going under the same name, and now Marvel's trying to make, separate him and Peter more and more and make him like, he's the good one. You're just a turd, Peter Parker. I just don't get it. I don't also understand why we have to dilute and push down our established characters to make a good character. Think about that. Is all these people always say, you don't need to punch down, don't punch it. Well, these are the very people pushing up a character and punching Peter Parker. We don't need to push characters down to build characters up. We need to build the character of those characters to make them good. And I wasn't originally a big fan of Elektra being a Daredevil either. Matter of fact, I still prefer being Elektra once again. But it seems like that's what Marvel and DC are doing now. And I'm going to tell you, I think, why. I think part of the reason is lazy marketing. They realize using the word Daredevil is going to be a bigger name than using the word Elektra to try to sell a book. Same with the name of Spider-Man, as opposed to whatever name they could give Miles Morales. They know that. They're not willing to take the risk and the time and the effort to put into these other characters to build them up. They'd rather take the easy route and just slap a legacy name on them to help get those sales. But that's just my thoughts, and you can disagree. That's perfectly fine. I'll step off my soapbox. But feel free to share your thoughts below. I would like to see them as well. Well, thank you everybody for your time. I greatly appreciate it. And make sure you thank these people too. Without them, this channel would not be possible. They've all been amazing in supporting this channel for a very long time. Thank you all, and have a blessed day. Keep it frugal.